Yo, I'm Little Pepper. I'm an eternity level magic main with my total hours being hold on. Just give me a sec. Huh. I knew that computer science degree would come in handy. So, since my last guide, a lot of people have been asking me a lot of questions like, when should I engage as magic? How do I stay alive for so long? What's your social security number? So, I'm gonna make another guide for you guys of the top 10 things that I wish I knew before I started playing Magic. I'm going to try my best to answer all these questions for you guys, so with that being said, let's dive right in. I'm gonna keep it a bean, you guys. I've died so many times playing Magic, I've been called every name in the book. Yes, even that one. And I've been flamed by my whole teammates for still trying to make Magic work. While yes, I was that guy on the team who didn't want to switch, I wholeheartedly believe that Magic has untapped potential just waiting to be unleashed. I know a lot of people are going to disagree, but by me playing Magic into these really challenging matchups, it's taught me so much on how to escape and slip through the cracks, and leave if I'm in danger too. Like I said, I've died so many times, I know exactly what will kill me and what can't. Sure, I could tell you exactly what I do. Disengage, get to high places if possible, or run to a health pack, but you're not going to actually learn from me just saying that. If you're serious about getting better at Magic, then you're going to have to. And also get thick skin, because your teammates are not going to be happy, and they'll let you know. Okay, I had a different approach to playing Magic before hitting Celestial 2. I noticed that my teammates died. A lot. Most of you guys can relate to your teammates being picked off first from a fight, and then your team gets pounded in the 5v6. Now at first, there doesn't seem to be a lot you could do as Magic. Like, how can you prevent your teammates from being complete idiots? But Grandmaster Little Pepper came up with the accidental genius idea. What if I engaged first, and bothered the team before the fight started? The main goal wasn't really to get kills, but to smother the backline, or make it hard for the DPS to get into position, and I basically made myself a look at me tool so that my team had an easier time taking advantage of the space I created. Now, there's a couple things wrong with this idea. First, you are relying a lot on the team to take advantage of the free space, but also relying on their performance in the fight. Even though you set them up for a good positioning, it's not exactly guaranteed that they will win that fight. And you're also hindering yourself by sacrificing good positioning and timing for your team to develop. Don't get me wrong, this playstyle brought me all the way to Celestial 2 before I saw myself negatively affect my team. So why do I call this an accidental genius idea? Staying alive should be your top priority. And using the aforementioned playstyle, it taught me so much about things I can get away with. And it truly highlighted Magic's strengths for me. I learned what abilities can absolutely obliterate me, but also how far I could push things before being killed. And this is a core aspect all Magic mains should aim for. This is value, and the longer you stay alive, the more that value increases. You should be constant threat at all times, and learning through this aggressive and heavy smothering based playstyle allowed me to recognize the things Magic can get away with. You quite literally live and die by your lifesteal, and that's the key to constantly living and getting value in the enemy team's backline. I always try to put my demon down to whatever can replenish my shields, whether that be a tank or multiple bodies. Your goal should be to live as long as possible. But with that being said, you're not invincible. In fact, far from it. Magic can take a beating, but you should still think things through strategically, and sometimes that means I'll let you in on a little secret. You can always win fights if you're running away from the ones that you're losing. Magic has one of the best escape options in the game. She can literally leave in a blink of an eye if you manage your cooldowns correctly. I always try to have dimensional disc or a dash to get back to my team or a health pack. There's always a way out. You're going to have to be a little creative with your escape routes, but if you can master disengaging and staying alive, you're essentially a Captain America that can one-shot squishies. Does this warrant a nerf? Maybe. But just let everyone think she's B tier for now. But what good is all this disengaging and one-shot potential if you don't know? This is a bit tricky, because there's so many off angles in the game for Magic to utilize, but the main ingredient to finding good positioning is asking yourself these questions. Can the enemy team see you? Can the team walk past you? And for extra credit, are you on high ground? You really want to be sneaky with the way you position yourself. And I love a place where I can easily get to their backline and get up close and personal. Not only do you set yourself up for success by playing to your strengths, but also when you get up close like that, it makes you land your dashes more easier. Magik isn't supposed to be this crazy trick shot hero. Make it easier to land those slashes and dashes for yourself, and determine whether or not it's worth it. You have to understand. Alright, let's get into why we all die playing Magik. Sometimes our eyes are bigger than our stomachs, and I'm no angel myself. I constantly make bad judgments, but in a way, that's the beauty of it. You fail, and you learn, and the more you learn, the more calculated your risks are. And now you can go for more bigger and bigger rewards. For me, a big challenge was throwing out my dashes, when in some cases I know for a fact if I miss this dash, it will kill me. There's no coming back from this, but the reward is securing this kill. It took me a long time to come to the conclusion that I wasn't ready to take risks like this. And even to this day, sometimes I won't take that dash, but the more I play Magik, the more confident my skills get, and the more possible those tricky dashes become. It all takes time. You will inherently get better, and it will allow you to take bigger risks for bigger rewards. I know this is a lot to remember, but let me do you a favor and... Yes, there are really good combos for Magik, but if you're stressing about remembering all these combos instead of actually learning how to play in Magik, you're not doing yourself any favors here. I only really use 2 combos, spin to dash, and also just charge slash swing, and then dash to one-shot squishies from above. You can even add a melee so that you wouldn't have to charge or slash all the way, but other than these 2, I usually just try to cause as much damage as fast as possible. Whether that be cancelling your swing with a slash, or cancelling your swing with a dash or melee, your main goal should be to pump out fast damage. And I feel like combos should be tailor-made for the situation you're specifically in, and you kinda have to make it up on the fly. And the more you play Magik, the more it'll feel like second nature to just throw moves together. Personally, I wouldn't concern myself with learning combos. I really think it'll come naturally, but there is a common misconception on it. Honestly, the best use I get with Magik's ult is if I push alongside my tanks. And the more confident your tanks are, the further you can get in the enemy team's backline. Or, you could use it to secure fights as well. It's never a waste claiming a capture point, because you never know if they're going to stall in overtime forever. But, if you do decide to push by yourself with your ult, you should always be punished for trying to raw dog it without your tanks or your teammates. Unless you already have the advantage and you have the opportunity to stagger even further, then that's okay. You can also one-shot any healer in their ult, and if you can't get any kills because of the healer's ultimate, you should always go for that one-shot. And if you're unable to one-shot them, you should at least try to one-shot someone. With that being said, I'm always trying to charge my ultimate as fast as possible. And one of the best ways to do that is by... Enemy tanks are basically free ult charge and extra shield batteries. If you ever feel confused on what to do as Magik, you can always just default to frontlining with your tanks. Of course, there are heroes that make it difficult to frontline with Magik, but nothing is unplayable. Even the Thing has some counterplay to him. But Magik creates so much pressure being the frontline, it's crazy. You basically make your tank's job easier while getting that ult charge and extra shields. As long as you follow the tank's tempo, you should be good. And be mindful of your health. You can't hang in the front line as long as your tanks can. But if they have an Emma, a Thing, Thor, or even a Penny, you're going to have to change things up a bit and flank. You should alternate accordingly. It should almost be like this dance, keeping the enemy team guessing. Leave them not knowing when your next attack is going to be. But in the case of playing annoying tanks like Emma or Thing, there is one way you can reliably play against them, and that's by using my strategy. Yeah, we came back full circle. I elaborated about decoys a lot in my first guide, with actual examples on how I use it in game, but basically I created this playstyle where you either have to be the decoy and distract the enemy team so that you can create space, or you can have your team be the decoy and use that distraction to get kills. It's a pick your poison that you always have readily available. and one of the core fundamentals on how I play Magic personally in the higher ranks. And instead of going in and causing disruption so that my team stays alive, I position myself accordingly and wait for a good opportunity to strike or become a decoy. Because in those high rank games, I don't really have to worry that my team is going to die by something stupid. Even if that does happen, I just stay patient and quiet until my team regroups, and I can go in for whatever play I want to make. Yo, thank you for making it to the end of the video. I appreciate it. But yeah, I don't know how to end a video. I'll see you later, man. Oh, and here's my social security number. All right, bye.